We arrived at the dacha in early May. The second floor of our large, two-story stone house was not yet heated, and only warm days saved us from the cold. At night, we covered ourselves very warmly so as not to freeze. On the first night, when we went to bed, Mum woke up in the middle of the night from the cold. One blanket had slipped to the floor, and the cold was creeping under her side. She did not want to crawl out from under the blanket to pick up the second one, because she could lose the rest of the warmth. Mum was lying there, struggling with herself, and suddenly she felt a blanket coming down on her from above. The edge where the wind was blowing closed, and it seemed to her that the blanket was being tucked under her side. She forgot how to breathe in surprise, and then she heard a deep, grumbling bass right under her ear. "They've come here in droves, take care of them." That same summer, Mum heard that voice again. Waking up at about 5 in the morning, she couldn't fall asleep again and went to the summer kitchen to knead the dough and put the pies in the oven. While they were baking, she decided to work in the garden. The work was going well, and Mum didn't notice the time. Suddenly, the same bass voice was heard behind her. "Oh, they'll burn." Mum jumped up, turned around, but didn't see anyone. Remembering the pies, she ran to the kitchen. They had just reached the right condition. We didn't hear the voice of the brownie in the city apartment, and it didn't happen again at the dacha. But things were flying around the room. One day, on December 31st, I was sitting on the couch admiring the Christmas tree. The room was dimly lit, only the garland and the table lamp were on. My eyesight was not very good even then, objects were a little blurry before my eyes. I saw my white cat with black spots stretching under the lamp. He was rising higher and higher. I wondered how he managed to do it and went up to him. But it wasn't a cat, but a large white rag made of parachute fabric, slowly rising into the air. It rose almost to the ceiling, and then fell softly onto the table. As soon as it fell, a chair moved away from the table with a slight noise across the room to the sofa. I quickly left the room before I was sent somewhere too. Another time, my mother and I were sitting in the bathroom and talking. Our bathroom was huge, about 6 or 7 meters. On the floor there was a large enamel pot in which we boiled laundry. Suddenly the lid of the pot rose, moved half a meter and fell to the floor with a deafening clang. We weren't scared, but we decided to change the subject of the conversation, just in case. We had many stories related to brownies. In our house, the brownie never harmed anyone. At first I felt uneasy, especially when I went to bed alone in a dark room, and things started falling around me. I heard stomping and various sounds. We had no neighbors above or to the side, the building was departmental, and there was only one apartment on the floor. In general, the sounds from the neighbors could not explain all this bedlam that began to happen at night. A person probably really does get used to everything, so we got used to it too. And to this day I am grateful to fate that I became a witness to such amazing phenomena, which, I believe, brought a fair share of good magic into our lives. But one night everything changed. I woke up from a cold touch on my leg. Opening my eyes, I saw a ghostly figure standing at the head of my bed. Her eyes were burning with an ominous fire, and her face was distorted by an evil grin. I tried to scream, but my voice got stuck in my throat. The ghost slowly leaned towards me and whispered, "You are mine." Since then, every night I wake up in horror, seeing the faces of those I disturbed. They do not give me peace, reminding me of my mistake. I try to get rid of them, but it is useless. They always come back, and their hatred becomes stronger. One day, when I was alone at home, I heard a loud knock on the door. When I opened it, I did not see anyone, but suddenly I felt something cold and invisible grab my hand and drag me into a dark room. I screamed and tried to break free, but the forces were unequal. All the objects in the room began to fly through the air, and the walls shook from loud laughter. I realized that the brownie no longer wanted to be kind and now he has come for me. Since then, I live in constant fear. Every night I hear his steps and whispers, I feel his presence. He haunts me, reminding me of my mistake. I tried to move, but it didn't help. He always finds me, wherever I am. Now I know that you can't disturb the peace of the dead. But this knowledge came too late. I am doomed to eternal torment, and every night I relive this horror. And no one can help me.